Come back. In this section, I explained that there was a demand for the states on the basis of language. When this demand comes, the leaders of our country or the national leaders apprehend that if states are divided or created on the basis of language, it may create disintegration of our country. What is disintegration? Split. We cannot unite it together. So, the central government decided to resist the demand of linguistic state for some times. But the experiment shows that the creation of linguistic state, instead of creating disintegration or any messy partition, it will become more united. To take example of Belgium and Sri Lanka, only 2 languages were there. It was very difficult to accommodate people. But as far as our country is concerned, 1,500 distinct languages are there. That is the greatness of India. Our country is a great. Our country, India, is a great as far as this are concerned. Come to the next part, that is language policy. Language policy. This is the second test for the success of Indian federalism or democratic policies of our country. Second test. You know, India did not give status of national language to any language. Means in India there is no national language. In India there is no national religion. Similarly, there is no national language. But Hindi was recognized as official language. But you know, there are some problems. Only 40% of the people, they speak Hindi or mother tongue. Only 40% of the people, they are having Hindi and their mother tongue. So it is difficult to give even official status. Therefore, other languages also must be safeguarded. You know, when you are appearing for central government jobs or UPSC, examination conducted by UPSC, there are 2 languages you can see that. Hindi as well as English. Now, why this happened? According to the census of 2001, there are 1,500 or more than 1,500 distinct languages are there in our country. More than 1,500, as I told you. And these languages grouped under some major languages. Languages like Bhojpuri, Magadhi, Balkhandi, okay, and even Chhattisgarhi or Rajasthani or Bili. These languages were grouped together under Hindi. When many dialects are there, many languages are there, but some are grouped under some major languages. Even after the grouping, the census found more than 140 languages. 114 languages. See the condition? And out of this, 22 languages were included in the 8th schedule of the Indian Constitution. 8th schedule. 22 languages included in the 8th schedule of the Indian Constitution, and therefore these are called scheduled languages. The Indian Constitution recognized 22 languages as statutory languages, and these languages are called scheduled languages, and the remaining are called non-scheduled languages. You note down these points. What are called scheduled languages and what are called non-scheduled languages. Now, according to the census of 2000, there are more than 1,500 different or distinct languages are grouped, and from these many of the languages were grouped in some major languages like Bhojpuri, Magadhi, Balkandeli, then Rajasthani, okay, Chhattisgarhi, even Bili. These languages were grouped together. Even after grouping, the census found more than 114 languages. Out of these 14 languages, 22 languages, including Hindi, okay, including Hindi, 22 languages were included in the 8th schedule of the Indian Constitution, and these are called scheduled languages, and the remaining are called non-scheduled languages. Now, the practice of English as official language was stopped in the year 1965. English was used as official purposes. So, but it was stopped in the year 1965. 1965, the use of English as official purpose was stopped. But non-English speaking states like Tamil Nadu, they objected, they demanded to continue English as its official purposes. So the central government decided to agree with them. There was a widespread violent or campaigning or take place. Okay, so the central government decided to obey with this. Okay, so that the most important problem should not be arise on the basis of language. So that the central accepted all this. Now coming to the center-state relations. You know, for the success of a good federal country, federalism, it is very important for the good relation between center and state. These center-state relations, the relation between the central government and the state governments. You know, you can understand that if the central government is taking some initiatives or some legislation, the state government is not ready to accept, it is not a cordial relations. So in a federalism, the central government as well as state government must a mutual trust and agreement. That is very important. So as and when the ruling parties at the state was different from the ruling party at the center. That means the center is ruled by one political party and the states are ruled by different other political party. For example, Gujarat is ruling some central government and some other parties are ruling in other state governments. The central government always try to undermine the power of the state governments. Because when the state government is doing something, if they need some fund or some aid, the central government did not give. Why they wanted to do that? Because they wanted to increase the party in power at the center and they wanted to increase their power in the state government too. That is the matter. They wanted to increase their power. So in those days, what happened? The central government which are in power, they used to dismiss the state government which are ruled by rival parties. You know, more than 100 times in our country, Article 356 used. What is Article 356? Article 356. Emergency. Due to constitutional breakdown of a state. What are the different types of emergencies? The President of India has the power to declare 3 types of emergencies. What are these emergencies? General emergency under Article 352 and Article 356, emergency due to constitutional breakdown of a state, and Article 360, financial emergency. So when the central government tried to undermine the power of state, when they are doing like this, when the central government is trying to undermine the power of the state government, because rival parties are ruling in some states, they wanted to increase their power in that state too. That is the reason. And they used to dismiss the state government using Article 356 and impose president's rule on that particular states. And this practice significantly changed after 1990. This all significantly changed after 1990. Because after 1990, the emergence of state parties or regional parties become very important, very significantly. States like Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, okay, or in some other states, you can see that, or you can see that number of regional parties merged and they decide who will rule the country. So one party rule was impossible during this time, and this era started a coalition government. What is a coalition government? Coalition government. Coalition government. Coalition government. Alliance and coalition. What is the difference between alliance and coalition? Alliance is before the election. Okay. If two or more parties to congress together, they decide some agreement before the election, that is called alliance. What is coalition? If one party is not able to form the government, they are having short of majority, then several parties can come together to form a government with majority. I will make it clear. As far as our country is concerned, how many seats are there? How many seats are there? 272. Okay, 272 seats are mandatory. 272 seats in Indian Parliament to prove the majority. Some parties are not, suppose Congress or BJP is having only 200 seats. Okay, and they are falling short of 72. Okay, now they want 72, and this is from different political parties. Okay, there are different political parties coming together and they managed this 72. Such type of governments are called a coalition government. So after 1990s, it became very significant, and the era, a new era started. There is a coalition government era. And now you can understand that at the same time there is a sharing of power between these different coalition partners as well as the central union or the parties, national parties and the state parties. And it was very significant decision taken by it was very important to discuss here. At the same time, the Supreme Court is also supported with the judgment. What judgment the Supreme Court made? The central government cannot dismiss the state government in an arbitrary manner. What is arbitrary manner? Without any proper systematic or proper arrangements. Without any proper reason, the central government cannot dismiss the state governments. So, with this clear decision of the Supreme Court, the era of coalition government started. Okay, after 1990. So, this is the central-state relations. Okay, with this we are coming come to the conclusion of this part, how is federalism practiced, and tomorrow we will study another